the most important thing is Rogue One new trailer debuted this week.
Hell of a lot of new footage.
Hell of a lot of new footage and more insight into the story than we've had this far. So now we know that the main character, what's her name?
Shoot, I completely.
We don't even.
I blanked on it.
Jen Orso or something
yeah,
like that? Something weird like that.
It's a Star Wars name.
It's a Star Wars name. Anyway, her father actually played a big part in the building construction of the Death Star.
Apparently.
So now we understand a little bit of the motivation.
Exactly.
And it opens up this trailer with kind of a dream sequence that she wakes up from. And we don't really get a whole lot of those in the Star Wars movies, especially in the original trilogy.
Exactly. And the closest thing we've got even in Force Awakens are like
visions. And you know, in the prequels you'd had Anakin's visions and stuff like that. But this seems more of like a flashback, which is interesting and kind of is going to set itself... I can see a lot of things here that are already setting itself apart from the trilogy, which I think is a good thing because you don't want people to think that this is, you know, this isn't one of the episodic Star Wars, but technically it is a prequel.
It takes place in the universe, and it helps build the entire Star Wars universe.
But isn't it crazy how Rogue One looks more like a Star Wars movie than any of the prequels that we got?
Yeah.
They keep a lot of the old fashions and imagery and make it look like all old, kind of like the New Hope does. Whereas the prequels, everything looks shiny and new. And that really took me out of it.
And it doesn't hurt that, you know, the Rogue One story takes place probably like, 2 weeks before Luke Skywalker becomes active.
You know, I hadn't thought about that. I mean, it could be 2 weeks, could have been 2 months. How quickly does things move?
Well, I mean, you see the Death Star fully completed in the Rogue One trailers. So
yeah, and they test it for the first time in
blowing up Alderaan. Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out and what characters in this are going to die. That's going to be the big question is what characters are we going to fall in love with throughout this movie that are going to die at the end, because
none of them are in.
We know that they risked their lives to get this information to the rebellion. So
we know that Mon Mothma doesn't die because she's in
the same
Return
actress
of the Jedi.
And she looks incredible.
She is the same actress that played her in a deleted scene in The Phantom Menace.
And in Return of the Jedi.
I don't think it's the same original actress that played her in
original actress.
It
is the same original actress. If that is
true, that blows my freaking mind.
It's true. Your mind is blown.
It is.
It is.
30 years.
So I am so happy about the new Star Wars stuff that we've gotten, especially after the prequels came out. And it seems like they're throwing all this stuff at us. And whenever Disney first bought it, a lot of friends of mine, at least, were kind of, they're going to ruin it. And I'm like, whatever, dude. Have you watched any of the Marvel movies lately? They're fantastic. They're great. So it's really like relieving to me as a Star Wars fan to see things like this that, you know, really just kind of reignite that passion that I have for the franchise.
Oh, yeah. I absolutely understand that. Something else that really speaks to me is that we're getting some more Mads Mikkelsen.
Right. You've got such a hard-on for this dude.
Dude, that dude, he is an amazing actor, especially if you've seen him play Hannibal Lecter in the series Hannibal. He's great in that.
I have not
seen
that.
But he's playing the villain in Doctor Strange.
Which comes out, next month?
Yeah, next month.
Nice.
And then a month after that, he's playing Jyn Orso's father in Rogue One.
Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So apparently Ewan McGregor is interested in doing a couple of Obi-Wan Kenobi films. Do you think that they would bring him in for that?
It could be interesting. Because, I mean, surely he didn't spend all of Luke's childhood on Tatooine.
Right. And what about Jimmy Smits? Is there going to be a Jimmy Smits cameo in this one?
Jimmy Smits is supposed to be doing Bail Organa for Rogue One.
And this will be the first movie that we've gotten out of the new ones that there's going to be a direct connection to the prequels. If you have watched any of the special features on the Force Awakens DVD or Blu-ray, they really make a point to not mention the prequels whatsoever, except for when they're talking to John Williams, and he mentioned that he had scored his 7th Star Wars movie so far. And that's the only time it mentions that there's 7 instead of just 3. Because
those other 3 exist.
Right, if you watch the special features in all of the Star Wars Force Awakens stuff, it's almost exclusively about the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how it is. I guess Disney understands that the prequels don't have as big of a fan base, but there are fans of it, unfortunately.
Of course. Yeah.
A lot of the younger generation seems to really appreciate those. And I just don't see how, after watching the prequels, and then if you watch the original trilogy afterwards, you can't be like, wow, these 3 are actually like really good. These 3 are a lot better. But who knows? The older I get, the more it seems like I'm just falling out of touch with people younger than me. So,
remember Star Wars?
Remember Star Wars? We'll get into that. Okay, so are we ready to move on?
Yeah, sure.